JBN, we keep you informed. Businessman shot dead at St. Thomas home. The St. Thomas police are yet to identify a motive for the killing of a businessman at his home in Albion, St. Thomas on Sunday night. The deceased has been identified as 35-year-old Damian Davidson of Albion. Reports are that sometime after 8 p.m., residents heard explosions coming from Davidson's home and alerted the police, who went to the premises. Davidson was the former member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF, who was seen suffering from bullet wounds. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. 29 murders recorded last week, police statistics reveal. Jamaica recorded 29 murders over the past week, the latest police statistics have revealed. It marks the third consecutive week the police have recorded at least 25 killings in a single week. The Kingston Eastern Police reported 9 murders last week, accounting for nearly one-third of the total. There were 4 in Westmoreland and 3 in the Kingston Central Police Division. According to the latest Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF Periodic Serious and Violent Crimes Review. The St. Andrew South Police, the division with the highest number of murders so far this year, recorded 2 more, pushing its total to 156 since the start of the year. St. James and Clarendon, 2 parishes under state of public emergency SOE, because of their high murder rates, had no killings last week. Similarly, Portland, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. Thomas, and the communities that make up the St. Andrew North Police Division were murder-free last week. Up to last Saturday, Jamaica recorded a total of 1,187 murders, an increase of just over 1% when compared with the corresponding period last year. Man allegedly shot and killed by his brother-in-law. Eric Edwards, a mason of Gravel Heights in St. Catherine, was shot and killed allegedly by his brother-in-law at a wake on Sunday morning. According to the police, Edwards and another man attacked a security guard, who is his brother-in-law, with a machete after an argument between them escalated. Both men were shot and taken to the hospital, where Edwards died and the other man admitted. The security guard ran from the scene and is being sought by the police. Man and woman killed in midday ambush in St. Mary. 2 persons were shot and killed when gunmen attacked the occupants of a motor car, which later crashed in Fellowship Hall in Mango Walk, St. Mary on Sunday. The deceased have been identified as 35-year-old Delton Lawrence of Mango Walk and Shanique Royce, otherwise called Biggie. Reports from the Rockabessa police are that about midday, Lawrence and Royce were traveling in a motor car when a group of armed men ambushed the vehicle and opened fire on them. The vehicle then crashed into an embankment. Lawrence reportedly died at the scene, while Royce was admitted in hospital for treatment but died later. The police were probing the incident are trying to establish a motive for the shooting. Suspect charged with murder of 21-year-old Kingston man. The police have charged a suspect in last week's murder of a 21-year-old Kingston man. The accused is 24-year-old Kimani Beckford of Majestic Gardens, Kingston 11. He was arrested and charged with offenses of shooting with intent, illegal possession of a gun and ammunition, and murder. The police suspect that Beckford is the man who fatally shot Andrew Kennedy, otherwise called Turbulence, of Charlotte Street, Kingston 16, as he walked along the road with a friend about 8:45 a.m. last Tuesday. The other person managed to escape unharmed, but Kennedy was pronounced dead at hospital. Beckford is scheduled to appear before the court at a later date. Man caught on surveillance camera breaking into shop charged. A St. Catherine man, who the police say was caught on surveillance camera breaking into a shop, has been charged with breaches of the Larceny Act. He is 35-year-old Kevin Simpson, otherwise called Sizzler, of Pearl Harbor in Old Harbor. Police reports are that about 3 a.m. on Tuesday, November 12, Simpson allegedly broke into the shop and stole cash amounting to more than $20,000 and 2 cartons of cigarettes valuing approximately $30,000. The police said Simpson was accosted and subsequently charged. He is expected to appear before the courts at a later date. Cuban nurses take a year to learn patois. With the constant migration of Jamaican nurses to North America, the Ministry of Health and Wellness continues to recruit nurses from overseas to address the trend of attrition. Last year, the health sector lost just over 500 nurses, and up to October 2019, the number had surpassed 460. However, President of the Nurses Association of Jamaica, Carmen Johnson, has asserted that while the recruited nurses help to ease the burden on the nursing staff, there are challenges. I'll put it in the words of some of those whom I've had meetings with. They said to me, "Madam President, I think we should get a 3-year contract because it takes us 1 year to learn the language and to learn healthcare in Jamaica. And by the time we learn it, we only have 1 year to function and then we're gone," Johnson said. The president added that even after a year, some nurses have difficulty communicating with patients who speak mainly patois. Johnson said that another challenge is that the nurses come to Jamaica with specialist skills and are being asked to function in general practice. When you take these individuals to work in a general setting, wherever you need them, it has its shortcomings, she said. Johnson said it takes the nurses a while to get to understand how they are expected to examine patients and then come up with nursing diagnoses and plans of care to treat them. While the nurses undergo training for the first few months, hospitals will only have increased staff but not added hands. She said that in the few instances where nurses are placed in their area of specialization, they are still not able to function fully but can assist with familiar tasks. The latest addition to the local nursing crop was in September, when more than 130 Cuban nurses were temporarily placed in the health sector. Crime-free for all in Western Jamaica, says Phillips. Following a recent string of murders that have rattled Western Jamaica, opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips charged on Friday that the Holness administration has weakened states of emergency SOEs, allowing criminals to reign amid the imposition of the security crackdowns. While acknowledging that SOEs have caused a dip in crime in parishes such as Westmoreland and Hanover, Phillips argued that the government had watered down the crime suppression strategies, giving thugs the opportunity to operate with impunity. What we need, as I've said before, is an effective plan to deal with crime in the short, medium, and long term. It means, as far as the short term is concerned, you have to build your intelligence, identify the criminals and the criminal organizations, and to launch an assault on them in a very vigorous and determined way. And when you're finished, you need to be able to take them through the courts to a successful conviction for their crimes, said Phillips. The opposition leader was speaking in Hanover on the weekend during the latest segment of a People's National Party, PNP All-Island Tour. SOEs have been imposed in 7 of 19 police divisions island-wide, with zones of special operations existing in Mount Salem and Denham Town. The western arc of Hanover, St. James and Westmoreland has been under an SOE since April 30. According to the latest police statistics, 133 people were murdered in St. James up to November 23 this year, a 45% increase, or 41 more than for the corresponding period last year. However, murders and shootings have fallen by more than 37% in Westmoreland and by 42% and 60% respectively in Hanover. Phillips, who is also president of the PNP, sought to characterize the Holness administration as a government seeking to mask reality with its aggressive public relations machinery. So they tell you everything is all right in the security ministry, but we still have persons being killed daily in some western parishes. They say education is all right, but teachers, students, and the parents are fighting in schools, and they say everything is okay in the health system. But you're seeing sick people in the hospitals who are sitting on chairs for hours and days before being given medical attention, the party president said. Compulsory road code test for learner's permit come January. Learner drivers in Jamaica will, as of January 24, 2020, be required to pass a road code test in order to receive the permit that allows them to drive. The move forms part of the decision by the government to implement aspects of the new Road Traffic Act, while the regulations that will govern the law are still being worked on. The act was passed in February 2018 and will repeal the current 80-year-old law. Among other things, it has far more severe penalties, with hefty fines and even jail terms attached, as the authorities move to address the continued carnage on the roads that has seen more than 350 people killed since the start of the year. Transport Minister Robert Montague, in a live television interview during Sunday's public session of the Jamaica Labour Party's JLP annual conference at the National Arena, said a decision has been reached to take out sections of the new act to implement. So come January 24, nobody in Jamaica will be allowed to get a learner's license unless you pass a written road code test. Montague said some aspects of the regulations, including those relating to the establishment of the Island Traffic Authority, ITA, as the implementing agency for the new Road Traffic Act, are already in place. He said part of the reason for the delay with the full implementation of the Act has to do with the chaotic traffic ticketing system that exists. In order to coordinate with the Ministry of Justice and the Transport Authority, we also have to be amending the Transport Authority Act. So while the legislative process is going on, and while the Chief Parliamentary Council CPC is drafting those regulations, we will be implementing the easier parts of the regulations, Montague stated. You cannot drive if you don't know the road code. Once you know it, then you can apply for the learner's permit. We are determined that we're going to save some lives on the road by doing these little steps, he elaborated. Speaking recently at the signing of a tripartite agreement involving the Transport Authority, Edifocal Business Limited, and the British Caribbean Insurance Company for an online training program for drivers and conductors, Montague said it is important for individuals to know the road code if they're going to be learning to drive. Robin Sykes leaving FID to be replaced by DCP Selvin Hay. Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division FID, Robin Sykes, will be leaving the agency come December 31. He will be replaced by Deputy Police Commissioner Selvin Hay. In a statement yesterday afternoon, the Finance Ministry said Sykes has indicated that he will be taking up a position at the International Monetary Fund (IMF). Sykes was appointed in November 2014 and has been the longest-serving Chief Technical Director at the FID. Hay has been with the Jamaica Constabulary Force for more than 30 years and has particular experience in anti-corruption and major criminal investigations issues. He has been Deputy Director General of the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, as well as Inspector General of the Professional Standards Oversight Bureau of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.